you doing, guys? I stand corrected on a name. I had mispronounced the name of that pervert on my last video. His name was actually Walter John Wilkerson. Now I have received some updated information on him. And he had actually molested a 10-year-old relative and God knows how many else. I'm going to hold off on that information for now. This is about 3 days ago. I had received a comment from a Lonester 3000 that really pissed me off. Now I read the comment and I couldn't even respond to it because it was just so callous. But where he said, Lonester 3000 said, where is the evidence that he was a JW? All I could find is info about is that he is in jail and charged with CSA. Isn't that enough? You know, the thing is, that was the last thing I was thinking of. They're not going to announce his religion. But yes, he was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. But all this idiot seemed to be concerned with was he a JW? If not, he was ready to discard it. Now, I don't know if he was one of Jehovah's Witnesses or an ex-Jehovah's Witness or neither of the above. But what that comment told me was, Lonester 3000, you're a low-life piece of shit. And you know, this isn't the first time I've heard this or that same attitude. It was some years ago when I had first discovered this, and I sat on the information because I wasn't 100% sure if it was true or not. So while I was still going to the meetings, I was digging up more and more information and come to find out it was true. And there were things going on that I had not even been aware of at that time. You know, and the funny thing was, while I was going to the meetings, I'm wondering, these people have to know this. They may not even know this. And I always wondered how many of them actually knew about this. And I had the feeling that I was the only one that was actually sitting on this. And it kind of wore on me. Well, I finally did speak up. It was immediately the people that I mentioned it to went right on the defense. The first thing I heard, and you've heard it as well, you know, there are a lot of bad people saying a lot of bad things about us. Basically, the persecution complex. And it wasn't like it was pulled out of somebody's hat. These were court documented facts. But what pissed me off was that they're willing to let children's lives be destroyed to protect this organization. Much like this idiot Lonester 3000, I don't know if he was a JW or not, but the fact is a child's life was destroyed. Does it matter if he was a Jehovah's Witness or not? No, it doesn't, because CSA runs a lot deeper than anyone is willing to admit. It is a big problem. So why do I speak out about Jehovah's Witnesses exclusively? I really don't speak about it exclusively. But if everybody took a bit of responsibility, because the thing is, protecting children is everybody's responsibility. That's how deep this problem goes. And if everybody was concerned about what goes on in their backyard, then we might get somewhere on this. But this goes very deep. But unfortunately, Jehovah's Witnesses are not concerned with what goes on in their backyard so long as their organization is protected. My Bible instructor was the first person I mentioned this to, and he went stone cold silent on it. As a matter of fact, he kind of backed away from me for many, many, many weeks. But what he was doing was everything I was telling him, he's running right back to the elders, and they're feeding him information to come back and tell me. Basically, they had to get me in that back room. He would call me when I was at home. So, when are we going to go talk to the elders? And I'm like, we are not. But that was what they had to do. They had to get me in the Kingdom Hall. I mentioned it to a few elders, and they, the same thing, started protecting the organization. Never mind the children's lives were destroyed. They want to take care of it, they want to do it internally, but they're not professionals. If there's such a problem, and if it's a non-existent problem, then why not let the police investigate it? And that's what they find out, if it was true. But no, they wanted to protect the organization. See, they had to get me to the Kingdom Hall. One of two things. Either talk me down and dumb me down to bring me back, which they were not going to do, or squeeze me out, which is exactly what happened. But I was absolutely disgusted with their attitude about it. More so than I was with the problem with CSA, was their attitude about it. See, they were denial. They're in a state of denial. It wasn't happening. And then you had that cop-out answer, well, it happens in all religions. That pissed me off worse than anything. And they didn't seem to understand, no, it's not the fact that it happens here, it happens everywhere. It's the piss-poor way that you are handling it. Now, the thing was, I wanted to know how many people actually knew about it. To this day, I don't know. But they all had that same attitude. Protect the organization. Those children are lying. And with the two-witness rule in place, they keep themselves pretty safe. Maybe not. Because they're losing their charity status in one country after another. And eventually, there's not going to be anything left. And it didn't have to be that way. Had they dealt with this on the onset, they wouldn't be facing what they are now. And Jehovah's Witnesses wouldn't have to put up this constant defense of this criminal organization. And Jehovah's Witnesses actually make me sick. And that's why I left. And I don't ever care to go back. But I still wonder how many of them actually know about it and just are not saying anything about it. Always wondered how many of them are in agreement with me. How many are disgusted with what's going on in the organization. I never found out because I was gone too soon. Anyways, guys, that was pretty much all I wanted to say. Is just the fact that I'm just disgusted with this. And for anyone who says, well, was he a JW or not? Does it really matter? How many children's lives have to be destroyed? These predators have to be stopped in their tracks. It doesn't matter if they're Jehovah's Witness. It doesn't matter if they're Mormon. It doesn't matter if they're atheists. These predators are in every walk of life. And loans to 3,000, think before you make a stupid comment like you made on my channel several days ago. Anyways, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll be talking to you soon.